Hi, good morning. I'm Mr. Gui. Today we'd like to study on voltage and dry cells. Alright, so let's begin the lesson. Now, the previous lesson we studied about current. Current is the rate of flow of electric charges. The higher the current, the brighter the light bulb. Now, today we'll look at voltage and dry cells. You can refer to your textbook, page 106 to 109. Now, what is voltage? A voltage of a dry cell provides energy for the electric current to flow. Without voltage, there will be no current. For example, a common AA dry cell that we use has a voltage of 1.5 volt. So this is a AA battery that is AA dry cell that is common to us. This side is the plus. Can you notice a button here? This side is plus and this side is minus. Now, dry cell versus battery. Now, it's commonly it's common that we call this battery, but actually in science it's wrong. This alone is called a dry cell. So, what then is a battery? Now, we will look at the dry cell versus battery. Now, when we have one single AA dry cell, we call it a one dry cell. So, please correct the term that we use. It's called one dry cell. Now, when we have two dry cells put together, if we connect them together, whether in series or parallel, once they are connected and it provides energy supply to the circuit, we call this two dry cells, or we call it a battery. So this is a battery of two dry cells. So let's be clear. One dry cell, more than one dry cells, we call it a battery. Another example, we have three dry cells connected in series, alright, and we call this a battery of three dry cells. Okay, now let's go on after we are clear with the dry cells and battery terms. Now, what do we use to measure voltage? Alright, if we have a dry cell at home, we want to know whether it is still usable. We need to measure its voltage. Now, we use a voltmeter to measure voltage. Now, the voltmeter has to be connected in parallel. So this is the battery of two dry cell. This is the light bulb. So if we are interested in the voltage or potential difference across this light bulb, we connect a voltmeter, alright, in parallel to the light bulb. This is called connection in parallel. Remember the previous lesson? Ammeter must be connected in series. So if we are interested in the current flowing through here, we connect an ammeter here. But today, this is a voltmeter to measure voltage. So that's the voltmeter connected in parallel. Now let's look at dry cells in series and dry cells in parallel. Now, when we have one dry cell, it provides 1.5 volt. If we put two identical dry cells of 1.5 volt each, we get a total voltage of 3 volt. That is if it's in series. Now, we have to take note that the dry cells in series have to be connected in order. What order? Now, this part is plus, this is minus. So the one connected to plus for the next dry cell must be opposite. So the plus must be connected to the minus, and then so on. Alright? So if you connect wrongly, you will not get 3 volt. So this is called dry cells in series. Remember, minus, plus, minus, plus. And the total voltage is 3 volt. Usually we use dry cells in series because we want to get a higher voltage so that we can run the device that we want to, right? So of course, if you connect three dry cells, it'll be 1.5 plus 1.5 plus 1.5, and that'll be 4.5 volt. Now, what about dry cells in parallel? Now, if we have two dry cells in parallel, we still get 1.5 volt. Then you ask, oh, why do we then connect dry cells in parallel? That is when we want it to last longer. So if we use it to operate a lamp, one dry cell versus two dry cells in parallel, both are still 1.5 volt. The light bulb will still be similar brightness, but this setup will last longer. Alright, now take note of the polarity. The plus and plus are together for parallel connection, and the minus and minus are together. Now we have come to the end of the lesson. Let's summarize. If we put two dry cells in series, we get a higher voltage. Alright, so 1.5 volt plus 1.5 volt in this example will get 3 volt. How this is, we connect dry cells in series when we want to get a higher voltage. Now when we put two dry cells in parallel, the voltage is still 1.5 volt. So the purpose is not to get a higher voltage because it's still 1.5 volt. The purpose is so that it can last longer. Alright, okay, thank you for watching the video. Now we will go on to show you a connection. Alright, now I'll show you a connection. Now this is a dry cell in, then if I click on it, I can see that it's 1.5 volt here. Now let's drag out this voltmeter. So this voltmeter here, I can measure its voltage. It should give me 1.5 volt. Okay, it's not connected yet. So you can see that's 1.5 volt. So if we put in a series another dry cell, alright, 1.5 volt and 1.5 volt in series, we will get 3 volt. Now however, if we put in, this is to break it, if we put in parallel, right, however, if we put in parallel, we'll need a wire to connect these. Alright, this simulation we've used before in the previous lesson. Now if we put 1.5 volt and 1.5 volt in parallel, we will still get 1.5 volt. Okay, one of the connection must be loose. Okay, you can see that you still get 1.5 volt. Okay, so thank you for watching.